the end of the road, went by the mosque, past the famous Rameshwaram temple, and then took a route to his coconut grove. There, I sat by his side and listened to him talk to the caretaker about soil and manure and rains. I loved standing under those tall trees and looking into the swaying fronds. The light would flicker in and out between the leaves, teasing my eyes. I would close one eye and the light would seem even brighter, as if the morning sun was winking back at me, telling me to have fun through the day. It was thrilling when someone climbed up right to the top of the tree to cut the coconuts. This could only be done by skilled climbers. They climbed up the straight trunk as easily as if they were walking up a gently sloping hill. With a cleaver tucked in his belt to cut the coconut with, the man hugged the tree with hands and feet in a swift, practiced pattern. Once at the top, he cut the coconuts and they fell below the tree with loud thuds. For a while before I wanted to be a pilot, I was sure that being one of the tree-climbing men in the coconut grove would be a wonderful occupation when I was older. After all, no one can climb higher than that, and you could look far into the distance from the top of the trees. Carrying a few coconuts back with us, I would hurry on ahead as we neared our home, eager to tell my mother and elder sister all about the things I had seen. They, too, would listen to my stories as I got prepared for the day. Other than my parents, we were many brothers and sisters in that house. My sister Zohra used to take special care of me. I think she was especially fond of me as I was not as naughty as some of the other children. I was quite dreamy and loved to spend time on my own, either by the seaside watching the birds fly around or looking for patterns in the clouds. My mind was always full of questions like why can birds fly and not us? How does the beating of the wings keep the birds up in the sky? Does the sun really fall into the sea at the end of the day? Where do the waves come from and where do they go? I asked these questions to my elders, and when I didn't get the replies I wanted from them, I looked for them in books. At the time, there were very few books available for children to read. Adults, too, mostly only read the newspapers. However, there was one person in that small town who had many books and who made sure anyone who wanted to read could do so. His name was S.T.R. Manikam, and he was a freedom fighter. After dinner, I was allowed to go to his home library and look through his many books. His house was on a main road, and I felt a thrill each time I entered it. What book would I get to read today? Manikam himself helped me choose books that I could read. They were fairy tales and biographies, and books that explained everyday occurrences in simple language. Sitting there among the tall bookshelves, the light coming feebly from some lamps, I would look at the flickering shadows of the cupboards and the walls, see my own wavering shadow among them, and then lose myself in a world of words and knowledge and imagination. That little library was my first introduction to the wonderful world of books. Yet, I was not always lost in the pages of a book. I remember, during the World War II days, there was a severe shortage of everyday items. Things were available only in small quantities. I decided that if I earned some extra money, it would help my parents. So I started gathering tamarind seeds. For some reason, there was a demand for this, and if I collected a substantial amount, I would get paid 1 anna from a shop that took these from me. So while I was in school or out anywhere else, I kept an eye out for tamarind seeds. I collected those little blackish-brown seeds in a piece of cloth, and when it felt nice and heavy, I would go and present it to the shopkeeper. Once I had the money, I would run as fast as I could back home to give the anna coin to my mother. She put it carefully in the little box where she kept all her household money. To see the small amount of money I earned, kept there to be used to buy some small item, gave me so much pride and joy. You may be wondering what is an anna. It was a denomination of money used in India till about 1957, and 1 anna had 4 paise. The most exciting job that I had as a child was that of collecting newspapers. Rameshwaram had a tiny railway station, but the train that passed through did not stop there during the days of the war. But this train also brought the